And we are now just waiting for the toss to take place. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'll talk to him afterwards.
Yeah.
Head. It's a head. Blow the ball, mate.
I'm now joined by your Bears captain, Carlos. So Carlos, just remind us who won the toss.
Unfortunately, Notts did, and they've decided to have a ball first.
Okay, well, the weather gods certainly aren't on our side today, but hopefully we will get the game started very shortly. So what are your thoughts on the tournament so far, Carlos?
Good start by us. I think we've been playing some good cricket as a team. We're close to top of the table. There's a lot of good things to like in the dressing room, so pretty pleased.
And any team news?
Henry Brooks misses out. Ollie Stone is back fit, and he gets a game today.
And how do you think this weather is going to affect you today?
Have no idea. The English weather is quite bipolar, so we'll play as we go. We've been sitting around having chats, and we've geared our mind for as many overs as possible. We're fairly switched on, and we hope that we can go out there and put in a performance for the fans that have braved the weather much like we have.
Well, fingers crossed we don't have any more rain, and best of luck, Carlos.
Thank you.
Edgbaston for everyone is really simple. It's about making people feel safe, relaxed and welcome. That's fans who come to watch the cricket, young cricketers coming through our pathway, and those who make it as professionals. It's the people who work here in the offices and behind the scenes at the Cricket Centre and Portland Road. Really, whoever you are and however you're involved with Warwickshire and Edgbaston, you should be able to relax, enjoy and thrive when in our company, regardless of age, ethnicity, gender, religion, sexuality or disability. This isn't something new. We've worked hard over recent years to create this safe, welcoming environment, but it's clear that we haven't done enough, and recent events have given us fresh momentum to keep tackling this important issue. So whilst you need a plan to drive change, and that's the purpose of the Edgbaston for Everyone document, we deliberately won't get on our soapbox and shout about glossy strategies. We do think that real change comes from small improvements to people's everyday lives that over time mean they can honestly look back and say that things have changed at Edgbaston, that it really is a place for everyone.
We're now joined pitchside by the Birmingham Bears women's team, who last month were crowned regional women's county T20 champions after winning finals day, which include opposition of Somerset, Gloucestershire and Cricket Wales. Each player is now receiving their winner's medal from Warwickshire Chief Executive Stuart Kane and former West Midlands and England player Enid Bakewell. While the players are receiving their medals, I'm joined now by Captain Marie Kelly. Marie, firstly, thank you so much for joining us. We're not having the best of weather today, but what a campaign for the Bears so far. Just one defeat and a thrilling victory in the final at Portland Road. I'm sure you must be very proud of the team.
Definitely, we had a great season. We set out to win the competition and we did just that. Obviously there was one defeat early on, but we came back stronger and made sure we won the competition.
And there were some outstanding performances right across the campaign. No more than Beth Ellis in the final, 57 not out. So how special was Beth's innings?
That was, honestly, it was a fantastic innings. We were really under the pump and both her and Maria had a really special combination there to see us over the line, and we were never in doubt, but that innings was really, really special and she deserves her medal today.
And it really is an exciting time, isn't it, for the women's game with the region set up and the 100 being a massive success as well. So it must be just a great time for all of you to be involved in the game.
Definitely, and even to have Edney Blakewell here today as well presenting the medals is even more special. You know, she was a pioneer of the women's game, and to see where it is now, and like you say, the 100 and inspiring the next generation of girls, it really has come a long way, and we're so excited to see where it goes in the next 5 or 10 years.
Well, thank you so much, Marie. It's now time to present the Women's County T20 Trophy. Your 2020 Women's County T20 champions, Birmingham Bears.
So we're here at Edgbaston Stadium where we're about to deliver a comedy course to some of the players. I'm so excited about this. Then afterwards, the guys are going to do a performance to some of their teammates. Now let's get and see how this goes.
Hello mate, how are you?
How's it going, mate? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Matt, how you doing?
Nice to meet you, Lavelle. Yeah.
Good,
Nice to meet you, Matt.
Dom, how are you?
Nice to meet you, Dom, Lavelle.
Oliver, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ollie. You're tall, isn't it? But yeah, nice to meet you guys. So I'm Lavelle Smith, and I'm going to be doing a bit of comedy workshop with you guys. Are you ready? We're going to get you guys writing some jokes, then performing it to the rest of your team members. Is that all right? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
All right, cool.
We're basically having to write a little sketch.
What I want you to do is
Is that what we're doing? Yeah.
so see the stories.
Just say in front of everyone, all the coaches, everyone.
Yeah, if you want to rinse your whole team, you can.
I might take this out myself, so it's also nice to have made it into an XL this year. I've only seen double XL and triple XL for the last few seasons, so.
Okay.
No one's laughed at that, so I'm
Okay, so you're going to talk about one of your teammates not inviting you to bed.
Yeah, just a bit of bang but just that's sort of.
Did you invite everyone else?
Yeah, well, not everyone else, but a lot, but a few of the boys.
That sounds funny. That sounds funny.
Oh no. I can invite you. No.
I'm seeing a lot of writing going on there.
Just had a new deck fitted. Wi-Fi it's bigger than my previous one. I'm still finding it hard to wee though.
What else have you got?
No, nothing.
Oh, mate, come on. I'm not coffee jokes.
Are you guys ready for your first act?
Yeah. Get him on.
So guys, your first act is Dom Silby.
To be fair, I don't think I'm going to top the laugh that I got for that, so let's go. My name is Dom Sibley, actually, but no, it's all good, look, it's obviously clearly my first time at stand-up comedy. Cheers, Fabi, for the stitch up on this. 24 hours my career has been going on for, so to be fair, the way we've been telling them backstage, but not in front of you boys, we'll be at the Apollo next week, so yeah, but no, I always knew my career would become a joke. Pretty similar to my leg spin career, actually, so yeah, we're sort of heading down the same direction. Great to see all you boys in the new kit. Two things that Frenchie's managed to get right this year. First of all, first year in a while he's managed to get a shirt for me that doesn't fit around the fridge. And secondly, he's got a shade of yellow that matches Lammy's teeth and shit. So yeah, thank you very much. Cheers for listening.
That was great, man. That was great. Round of applause for Dom once again, please. How great was that? What I want you guys to do is keep that energy, right? Keep that energy, and we'll get your next act on, and I'll try and get his name right this time. Yeah. Guys, give a round of applause for Matt Lamb, please.
lads, lovely to see you all here. My name's Jan. Absolute pleasure to share a stage today with two of my closest pals in Ollie, Hannon Dolby and Tyson Fury over there. I actually wanted to congratulate Frenchie. Real shame he's not in the room, but he actually managed to find a shirt that fits Sibley for a change. So well done you. Lads, before I forget, and just a quick word of advice. Never park on Lintots Drive, eh Carlos? And finally lads, we lost two great men to marriages last year. Ollie, Hannon Dolby and Adam Hose. Just wanted to say congratulations to both of them on tying the knot to two lovely women. Ollie, me and Ma were extremely great to receive an invite to both day and night, so we thank for that. And Hosey, it was great to see your wedding photos on Instagram and Facebook. One final thing, it's a shame not to see him in here, Robbo, but if you wanted to use this to write tomorrow's schedule down. Cheers, boys.
Last time, can you guys give a round of applause for Ollie, Hannon, Dolby, please?
Well, and well done on the name, you know, it's obviously a bit more difficult than Sibley. The new kit, this is genuine, it's not a gag, is made of coffee beans, okay? So this is environmentally friendly, you know, eco stories made of coffee beans. I've been reliably informed by the club that in Sibbers' shirt is XXL. There are 500 coffee beans, so you know it's obviously nice. In Davo's, extra small, there's 13.5 coffee beans. We're obviously gearing up to T20, exciting, you know, part of the season. We've got a new captain in Carlos Braithwaite, obviously from Barbados, and we've got a whole Barbadian contingent. We've got Shea Simmons from Barbados. We've got Jacob Bethel from Barbados as well. Unfortunately, I've already been told I'm going to be 12th man. I'll be carrying the drinks, but. Fair play to Carlos. He's given me a massive bottle of Mount Gay rum that I've got to put in your bottles every game. So lads, it's going to be a great tournament. Cheers, lads. Also great to have Warwickshire, the great man. You know, played cricket for Warwickshire for 10 years, and it's been an absolute pleasure to witness you slowly turn into Keith Cook with that grey hair. And obviously, I'm slowly turning to Trotty with this thing. You know, swings and roundabouts. Let's leave it there. Cheers, guys.
A good game of cricket, to be fair. 400 on runs in 40 overs. I think, credit to Worcester. I thought they came out with some real intent. And as a bowling unit, I think they probably bowled slightly better than us. Held their catches as well. Obviously, we had a couple of drop catches, which isn't always ideal. But to get 15 runs short or whatever it was, credit as a batting unit. We got some serious depth, but obviously it wasn't meant to be today.
Where do you think their score was in relation to par?
Well, you never really know here. Even think about it now. I back our batting unit to chase anything. We know it's a tough ground to defend on. As you say, you can find 15 runs anywhere. I know it's probably obviously a little bit cliche, but all we know is that obviously we've had a couple of losses. Probably yesterday hurt a little bit more than today. To chase 200's never easy or never ideal. But we didn't have a long chat up there. We just said we'll dust ourselves down, come again Sunday.
Yeah, how'd you go forward now? Do you almost have to brush these two games off and think, well, if we win on Sunday, that's 4 wins from 6, and that's a pretty solid start? Yeah,
well, I think you've got to. I think the beauty about this competition, it comes so quick and fast. So not a lot of time to go into depth with too many things. I back every one of our lads. I know they're very talented. You just try and work out, is it execution or whatever it is, and then you try and improve on it. So I know we'll be doing that. As I say, we haven't got a lot of time from now till Sunday, but I back our lads to put winning performances on Sunday.
A very good performance from you. How are you feeling? Because we know you missed a couple of games with a niggle. Are you all okay?
Yeah, I didn't want to watch too many more games of cricket. I've found that I'm a terrible spectator, especially when you have no impact. So the body's sore, I'm not going to lie. A few little bits and bobs, but as I say, I'm getting older. I'm getting older now, so I've probably got to see the physio tomorrow and we'll get myself right for Sunday.
So my name's Tom Hayward. I'm one of the lecturers on the Edgbaston cricket programme.
I'm Poppy and I am currently a senior player in the Central Squad, and I also am the assistant coach for this cricket education programme.
Our aim is to either produce the next generation of future cricketers, future cricket coaches, or just help anyone in sport find their passion and pursue that.
You literally come to college and you're going to play cricket. Like, it's so much fun. Like, it's a dream. They love it. Like, even on their lunch break they're here messing around and hitting balls. They can't stop.
You could have the chance of joining us for a future Blast game at Edgbaston in the Carling Best Seats in the House. Everyone has the chance to join us here in the dugout and enjoy the free food and drink with the best view of the action. Make sure you follow at Warwickshire County Cricket Club on Twitter to be in with a chance of winning.
So what does it mean to be a Bear?
We are proud of our history, our county.
It's traditions, it's people.
We're bold and brave and never give up.
We're outspoken and encourage others to speak up.
This is our home, a home for everyone.
Support our communities who support us.
And this is our time for our fans. The shackles are off.
Welcome to Edgbaston, and the scene is not great at the moment. We're about to get underway between the Bears and the Notts Outlaws. It was due to be a 4:30 start here today, 13 overs aside, following a fairly hefty rain delay from the scheduled 2:30 kickoff, of course. However, just as the players were completing their warm-ups and the umpires were on their way out, we have got light drizzle again falling here at Edgbaston. The BT Tower is a little bit murky in the distance at the moment. Umpires Peter Hartley and Steve O'Shaughnessy are out in the middle talking to Gary, the head of sports turf here at Edgbaston, just to get an idea of the situation. The toss did take place, the Notts Outlaws winning the toss and choosing to field first, which was probably no great surprise. But as you can see, the big covers have gone on. It's been a bit of hokey-cokey with the hover cover. It's been on and off in the last 10-15 minutes or so, but the umpire's retreating, and we will wait for the rain to abate. I can quickly run you through the two teams when we do get going. The Bears with just the one change. Henry Brooks misses out today. Ollie Stone coming in from the side that were beaten, of course, on Friday against Worcestershire. So Sterling, Bethel, Davies, Hayne, Hose, Benjamin, Brathwaite, Lintott, Stone, Miles and Briggs is how the Bears line up. As for Notts, they're unchanged from that impressive win the other night against Derbyshire, with Clark, Hales, of course, who scored 91 from 33 balls on Friday evening. Duckett, Moores, Patel, Christian, Mullaney, Harrison, Pattinson, Carter and Ball are the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. And the cover's just coming out now for the run-up areas as well. So it doesn't look like too heavy rain. It looks like it's fairly light right now. But obviously at these points we do start to lose more overs. The minimum we can have is 5 overs aside, and that would have to get underway at around 5:45. So not the best news from here at Edgbaston then. We were due to start in a couple of minutes' time with 13 overs aside, but unfortunately it's raining again. As you can see, a slightly more encouraging scene here at Edgbaston. We are going to get underway at 5:05, so that's around about 15 minutes from now. Again, there's been another reduction in overs, so we're down to 8 overs per side. Initially, of course, it was going to be 13 overs per side from 4:30, but we're back underway, hopefully, at 5:05. The ground staff just removing the covers as we speak. A reminder, Notts Outlaws won the toss, and they will field first of all. So 8 overs a side. Reminder of those team news as well. There's just one change for the Bears from that defeat against Worcester. Ollie Stone makes his first appearance of the campaign following injury. He comes into the side to replace Henry Brooks. So it'll be Sterling and Bethel to open. Davis, Hayne, Hose, Benjamin, Brathwaite, Lintott, Stone, Miles and Briggs. Although you can probably expect that batting order to maybe get a bit of a shuffle as you're only playing for 8 overs a side. And as for Notts, Clark and Hales will open up with Duckett, Moores, Patel, Christian, Mullaney, Harrison, Pattinson, Carter and Ball, completing their starting 11. And that's unchanged from the team that were victorious against Derbyshire the other night, of course, when Alex Hales was in blistering form. So we've probably got, about 16 minutes maybe before we get underway here at Edgbaston. It is looking a little brighter up above. The covers in the process of coming off. Stick with the live stream and we'll be back with you for live cricket in about 10 minutes time or so. Welcome to Edgbaston then for this T20 encounter that's reduced to 8 overs a side. We're due to get underway in the next 5 minutes or so here. It's looking the brightest it has for some hours, to be fair. Final preparations just taking place down below. The guard of honour for both teams is waving its flags in preparation. Our two umpires have just been deep in conversation with the Notts players, just outlining the playing restrictions. So we said it is 8 overs per side. There'll be 2.2 overs in the power play, and it will be a maximum of 2 overs per bowler. And it's Notts Outlaws who, of course, won the toss, and they are to field first. And we wondered if there'd be a change in the batting order for the Birmingham Bears, but Paul Sterling and Jacob Bethel are the two who are going to head out and get us going this afternoon, or this evening, should I say, as we head on beyond 5 o'clock. So play will get underway in a moment. Reminder, there's one change for the Bears, and that's Ollie Stone coming in to replace Henry Brooks in another way. His unchanged side. Notts are unchanged from their win against the Derbyshire Falcons on Friday evening. Delighted that Nathan McAndrew's alongside me. Hot foot from the dressing room. Yeah. Were you having a nice lazy day and they suddenly plucked you out and said, we've got some work for you to do?
Yeah, I was just doing some stuff in the gym and trying to keep busy and trying to get out of the way of the boys, so I wasn't distracting them, making sure they were nice and focused. But yeah, it's probably a good thing for me to come up here and get away from the fellas and let them focus on the game.
Obviously, you've played a lot of T20 cricket for Sydney Thunder in particular in the Big Bash. When a game is reduced in this manner down to 8 overs, does it change the mentality? Is it a completely different mindset?
Yeah, it is definitely. I think a lot of things do still say the same, but yeah, obviously, T20 cricket, most batters, they don't exactly give themselves too much time to get in, but especially with 8 overs, yeah, I think the batters are going to be going pretty hard from ball one, and as a bowler, you know exactly where you stand. You sometimes have a chance to get on top early with 20 overs, but with 8 overs, it's going to be probably death options from ball one. So yeah, it could be carnage.
2 overs per bowler maximum. Matt Carter is going to get us underway from the Birmingham end then. Peter Hartley and Steve O'Shaughnessy are our standing umpires. And it's going to be Paul Sterling to take the first ball. And he does. And he bats it away. Oh, and he's gone. He's caught. Deep backward square. Sterling goes first ball. And we've seen it be 8 overs of drama. And certainly that's some start for the Notts Outlaws. Sterling's on his way. A big hoik first delivery. And the Bears are 0 for 1. He trudges away, looking very frustrated. Has no option but to go from ball one, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, unfortunate start, but yeah, obviously looking to take the positive option there and play the sweep. Probably just a little bit done in flight and couldn't quite stay in control of it. And very good catch taken out there at deep backward square.
Looking a bit uncomfortable. Obviously, a fairly damp surface as well. The ball from Carter originally. Trying to look at the player who is feeling that bit of discomfort. He's got Ben Duckett's arm around him immediately as they congratulate him. Yeah, it does look like Joe Clark, doesn't it? And Carter getting things underway here, taking a wicket with the first ball. And there is a slight change in the order then. So it's not Alex Davis or Sam Hain that's coming in next. Chris Benjamin has entered the fray.
Yeah, he's been in some good form of late, Chris Benjamin, and yeah, very damaging hitter. So yeah, I'm sure he'll obviously, hopefully, give himself a couple of balls just to get going. He obviously don't want to still lose too many wickets too quickly, but yeah, obviously a very damaging striker, and probably going to try to make the most of it whilst there's only 2 fielders in the deep.
Carter is in to Benjamin, who just turns that into the leg side. They'll run the first very quickly. I'll look and think about the second, but good throw into Tom Moores. And the Bears are off and running, 1 for 1 then. And we've had 2 balls of this 8 overs per side. A frustrating old day, isn't it? It wasn't that heavy rain this afternoon, was it? Just been the really light stuff.
Yeah, just constant drizzle. So yeah, it was sort of frustrating when it hasn't set in. It sort of came and went. The covers were on, they were off. So you never quite know where you stand as a player in those conditions. You always just want it to constantly rain and get out of there, or stop and get some play.
Carter's into Bethel, cuts away beautifully. Lovely shot from Jacob Bethel. He's off and running with his first boundary, and the Bears are on to 5.
Yeah, lovely shot there by Bethel. He's just giving himself a bit of room there, and And yeah, he's a dangerous player, very good young talent, one of many good young players here at Warwickshire, and I'm sure he'll be looking to try and get some runs this innings.
Carter to continue from the Birmingham end. Switch hit, the big one as well for 6 from Jacob Bethel, and he's showing the kind of form he showed in those second 11 games in the warm-up to this T20 campaign. That's a terrific shot. Huge 6.
Channeled a little bit of Ben Duckett from the opposition there. It's a fantastic shot. He's it could be a good thing for him, I think, Beth. He looks like he's been a bit sort of caught in between at times mentally with some of his dismissals in the first few games.
Carter's in again. This one is a dot ball.
But yeah, just sort of a shortened game. He probably knows he has to go from ball 1, and I think he's an incredibly talented player, and I think it might just help him sort of focus, simplify his plans and go.
Carter into Bethel once more, and that's it. Benjamin and almost went onto the stumps. They'll grab a single though, and that completes the first over of the 8 from Matt Carter, and the Bears have moved on to 12 for 1 at the end of the first over.
Nice eventful start.
Jake Ball going to come on from the pavilion end. Nathan, it's a good start when you've only got 8 overs, 12 off the first. What kind of do you think about a total in this scenario?
Yeah, I think you've got to have sort of targets in mind. I'm not quite sure exactly what the boys were talking about. I said earlier I tried to get away from them, so I don't know what was said just before they went out. But 8 overs, obviously. Yeah, you're probably looking at anything over 10 and over. Anything under that, you're probably not in the ballpark, especially with the batting lineup that this Nottinghamshire team has. So, yeah, I think 12 and over is a lovely start. Hopefully we can kick on from here.
Jake Ball into the attack for the Outlaws, and he's immediately turned around the corner by Bethel. Just going to be for 1 as he's picked out the fielder on that far boundary, and comfortable bit of fielding out there for James Pattinson, was that? No, maybe not. I think maybe we've got a sub fielder out there at the moment looking at the lineup. Maybe just come out for Joe Clark. 13 for 1 then. Jake Ball, of course, feels like he's been around playing this game for many a year. T20 cricket, very successful as well. 31 years of age now. 98 domestic T20 game. Benjamin just, well, not too sure what kind of shot you'd call that, Nathan.
Yeah, he's gone for the scoop there. Obviously, fine leg up and third man. So he's trying to keep the percentages in his favour and target the areas where the fielders aren't. But I think Ball's probably a pretty experienced bowler, as you said, and I think he's probably seen him coming there and just adjusted his line and length and couldn't quite make contact. But not a bad option from the bowler, from the batter first ball. Makes him think whether he's moving again or if he's going to stand still.
124 wickets in domestic T20 cricket. Benjamin goes big this time, and it's over the top, and it's 4 runs. Benjamin's off and running as well with his first boundary, and the Bears move on to 17 for 1.
Yeah, such a great shot there from Benjamin. He's got the talent to do that, to just stand still and hit you over your head, but also to ramp. So, quite a challenging batsman to bowl to. You don't quite know if he's going to ramp or if he's going to just use his power game that he's clearly got. So, yeah, quite a challenging batter to bowl to.
You've obviously come in as an outsider to see some of these young players that have been progressing over the last couple of years. And like you say, it's a fairly impressive young crop, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of homegrown talent as well from coming through the academy, which I've sort of witnessed over the last month and a bit that I've been here. And, that's the sign of a strong club, usually creating, developing their own young players.
Ball's in again, and he's got some glove on that at the very least, Benjamin. And they'll turn for a second, just out the reach of the flying Tom Moores, and Samit Patel will tidy up. And the score moves on to 19 for 1. Yeah, there seems like there's a little bit of drizzle in the air. Nothing too heavy at the moment. Much easier, though, to continue with a little light drizzle once you've already got started. And we are almost a quarter of a way through this Birmingham Bears innings. 19 for 1. Back-to-back defeats, of course. Losing here to Leicestershire and then to Worcester away on Friday. They want to get back to winning ways, and that's outside the off stump, and Steve O'Shaughnessy stretches his arms out. That's given us a wide. Jake Ball just trying to get it outside and hide it away outside that off stump of Chris Benjamin.
Yeah, it's good proactive bowling from Jake Ball. We've seen him mix his pace and his lines and lengths already here. We've seen a slow ball bounce to the ball before and then a wide Yorker this ball. So he's just trying to really stay ahead of the batsman and not let the batsman know what he's bowling. So very proactive bowling.
Benjamin, oh, he's got all of that. Oh, that's huge. That's almost into the back part of the Holly stand. And Chris Benjamin hoists a massive 6 onto the leg side.
Such a free swing of the bat there from Benjamin. Such a beautiful shot. It's probably the one ball that you don't want to bowl in the end. I'm not sure if it was a little off cutter or not, but looked like he might have just rolled his fingers on the ball. And that's in the slot and very well dealt with, though, by Benjamin. Beautiful shots. It's the longer side out there, but he's cleared it with ease. So they change of field here. Cow corner going back, fine leg up into the ring. So you'd think with it's probably going to have to be pretty tight ball in at the hip, maybe even a slow ball bouncer.
Yeah, into the breeze as well there. He hit that one. This one's a full toss and it's carted away just to the right-hand side of long on. Actually, it was mid on. Hales was inside the ropes and or in the circle. Just having a look because that rain has got a little bit heavier. Two umpires just had a glance at each other then, but that's the end of the second over. 30 for 1, so that's an excellent over. 18 off it for the Birmingham Bears.
Yeah, lovely over there by the Bears. Yeah, off to a good start, as you said, a quarter of the way through. Quite remarkable, only 2 overs into the innings. But, yeah, obviously a good start. Both batters have found the boundary here. So, yeah, with any luck, they'll be able to kick on and get a bit of a partnership. But, yeah, as you said, it's a lot of intent. You're constantly looking for the boundaries. So, wickets will fall in an 8-over game, but that good intent that the batters have shown is going to be crucial.
Jake Ball obviously played for the Sydney Sixers, didn't he, as well? What's the rivalry like between those two Sydney sides in the Big Bash?
Yeah, it's a good one. I think the Sixers have probably had the wood over us a little bit over the last few years, unfortunately. Obviously, they've won the comp 2 out of the last 3.
In comes Samit Patel from the Birmingham end, and Bethel has just made some room and he's pulled him into the leg side for a brutal 4.
Yeah, lovely shot there by Bethel. Bit of a drag down there. Could be challenging to grip the ball potentially. Who knows if it is a bit greasy out there, quite tough for the spinners. But yeah, a bit of a drag down and well dealt there by Bethel. But yeah, the Sydney Derby's it's a great rivalry. We always get some great crowds there, which is fantastic. And yeah, there's usually always a little bit of extra chat in the media sort of leading up to the game usually. But yeah, no, it's a very healthy rivalry.
Patel again from the Birmingham end, and that just has to be jabbed down onto by Bethel. Good response from Samit Patel, and that's the end of the power play.
Power play.
And now all of a sudden they will spread the field. Always very bizarre when it's in the middle of an over, but 2.2 was the power play. And Patel again just drying the ball, one of the most successful T20 players in history in the domestic game. It's going to be a single here for Jacob Bethel. Score moves on to 35 for 1. Bethel on 17 and Benjamin also on 17. A reminder, 5 overs is the minimum that constitutes a game. So, again, that'll be the kind of things that are in the umpire's mind if the drizzle does return. It looks like it's abated again. And we're already 2.3 overs into this Bears innings. Patel again to Benjamin. Doesn't get all of that. Far from it. Off the toe of the bat. Just grabs another single. And a good response here from Samit Patel after that poor first ball of the over.
Yeah, really well bowled. He's just fired in 2 Yorkers there, which yeah, probably challenging to grip the ball. We see him drying it. He's just handed it over to the captain there, Dan Christian, to dry it with the towel. So probably just trying to fire it in the block hole and not let the batters be able to get underneath the ball. Probably the best option if he can't grip it. It's not going to be easy to beat somebody with spin.
Patel again, and he's carved away this time by Bethel. Up in the air and out. Easy catch, comfortably taken on the edge of the circle. And Bethel's innings comes to an end. And he's gone for 17, and the Bears are 36 for 2.
It's looked like it beat him for pace there, Bethel. I don't know if it's maybe skipped on off the surface. Bit of that rain might have got onto the wicket and skidding it up. But yeah, just sort of a bit rushed there and top edged it up into the air.
Yeah, it's good Catch taken by Stephen Mullaney, I think, at the edge of the circle. And the next batsman is going to be Adam Hose. So no sign of Alex Davis or Sam Hain yet. I wonder how early we might see the captain, Carlos Brathwaite, with a very safe pair of hands in Mullaney. And it's 2 down, 36 for 2. And 1 ball remaining in the third over. Obviously, you'll be back in action this time next week. It's Red Bull's back against Lancashire.
Red Bull's back, yeah. It's Lancashire here at Edgbaston. So, yeah, I've had a nice little enjoyable couple of weeks off, which has been good, especially after 4 games in 4 weeks in the championship. So, yeah, incredible schedule. I've certainly never experienced that coming from Australia. We get a bit more time off between games, which is I never realised how much I appreciated until seeing this county schedule. But yeah, it was good to just get away from the game a little bit physically and mentally.
Patel's in, cut away by Adam Hose. Going to think about a second. There, Hose has gone for a second because of the misfield, and that's well spotted. Slipped by Calvin Harrison in the deep, and that completes the third over. 38 for 2, just 8 from it from Samit Patel, but he got that important wicket of Jacob Bethel. And I suppose it is a bit of a whirlwind, isn't it, when you sign as the overseas player towards the start of the season. I know there were some issues around visas, which meant you couldn't get here for the first couple of games, but you seem to settle in really well after that, despite fairly cold weather and interesting and very, very batter friendly wickets.
Yeah, well, I certainly wasn't what I was expecting sort of coming to county cricket. You know, over the years, you always see the scores, and you know, you used to hearing about the Duke doing everything, and you know, green wickets that are so bowler friendly, and yeah, turned over and they're flat. It's like bowling on a dinner table. So yeah, sort of definitely a bit of an adjustment period for me there, but yeah, and the weather as well. I remember the first game, day 1 in Taunton, playing Somerset away. We were walking to the ground in 6 degrees and had the beanie on, and yeah, was questioning what I was doing there for a little bit.
James Pattinson is into the attack from the pavilion end.
Amazing
That's
shot.
Huge from Chris Benjamin. He has absolutely carted him into that Scriven stand next to the old scoreboard. I mean, that's a massive 6 from Benjamin.
That's an incredible shot. Obviously, James Pattinson's certainly got some pace behind him, and yeah, he's obviously got fine leg back. He's got 3 back on the leg side. Probably knows he's going to go into the wicket with that field, and he's just got inside the line and helped on the way. That's an incredible shot by Benjamin. Very courageous shot. If he misses that, that's in the chest and going to leave a bit of a bruise. So that's a fantastic shot. 6 off the first ball of the over. So sure he'll be looking to try and really put some pressure on James Pattinson here.
Second highest run scorer in the T20 campaign this season, Chris Benjamin. That's short again, and he tried to just turn it round the leg side. A bit more lenient, I've noticed, in this season's competition with a short ball that maybe just passes down the leg side. They tend to let them go.
Yeah, I've noticed that a little bit. I think, yeah, back home, as soon as there's sort of a bit of a grey area, it's supposedly, you know, if it would have hit them in their natural stance, then it won't be called a wide. But you see batters swivel inside it all the time, and they still pin you. So I've noticed that a bit, which I'm all for. I think, you know, T20 is a batter's game, and if we can give something back to the bowlers, then I'm all for it.
2 balls gone in the fourth over. 44 for 2. He's in again. Oh, and he's been reverse ramped. And that's 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 4 runs. That's an outrageous shot.
Yeah. Oh, to be young. That's an incredible shot by Benjamin. Not sure what the radar gun said there, but yeah, James Pattinson's always pretty high up there on the radar gun, and yeah, that's a very courageous shot. But percentage play, if you got the ability to execute it, third man's up, and you know he's going to be into the wicket with 4 back on the leg side now. So yeah, incredibly skillful shot by Benjamin. I know he practices, you know, these ramps and scoops a lot, and as I said, just such a difficult batter to bowl to because he's got the power to just stand there and hit you over your head, but then the ability to create these shots as well. So just the all-round package.
Just helped it on its way. 48 for 2, midway through the fourth over. And he's just gloved that one down into the leg side. Just be a single. He moves on to 29. The Bears on to 49 for 2. It is a batter's game, isn't it? And I'm guessing in 8 overs as well. That's part of the reason that you just can use 4 bowlers to bowl 2 overs each if you want in the restrictions today.
Yeah, I was surprised that you didn't have to use a 5th bowler today with the 8 overs. I thought it would probably be, you know, you'd still need 5 bowlers and 3 could bowl 2 and 2 would only be needed to bowl 1. But yeah, two fours, so or 4 twos, I should say. Sorry, but quite good change up there by Pattinson, taking the pace off that last one, knowing that Benjamin was trying to use the pace earlier in the over.
Hose is on strike. Swung into the leg side, just over Alex Hales. It was almost hanging for a moment. He was never quite going to get there, just out of reach to his right-hand side. But it brings the Bears 50 up then. After 23 balls, 51 for 2. Hose is on to 4. Benjamin on 29.
Yeah, I thought that was straight down Alex Hales' throat there off the bat. It was not a great vantage point up here. I didn't think it was clearing him, but it just had enough legs in the end. So over my Sydney Thunder teammate Alex Hales. No surprise, he got his hands in his pockets. In the cold weather over here, he even has his hands in his pockets back in Australia when it's 30 degrees. He still reckons he's got cold hands. So I'll let him off the hook today, though. It is a bit fresh out there.
Hanson in, and he's gone for it this time. Hose all the way for 6 over. Deep square leg. It's a terrific shot from Adam Hose. It completes the 4th over, and the Bears move on to 57 for 2. Hose is into double figures. He's on 10. Benjamin's on 29. It's the midway point of this Bears innings, and 57 for 2 is the score. 19 taken off that over, and the Bears going very nicely as things stand. And of course, as you can see on our screens, they're the Carling best seats in the house, and they've been there for some time now. I've got the perfect view, a dugout view from just probably about backward point on the offside when they're facing at the Birmingham end.
They're in danger here at cow corner to the spin if Benjamin and Hose can get a hold of a couple.
Patel in here to Benjamin. They'll take no run against Samit Patel.
Really well bowled there by Samit Patel. Just experienced campaigner firing in New Yorker there. Knows it's not going to be his day to be turning one past the outside edge. Just firing in those Yorkers, getting underneath the swing of the batter.
Patel in again. Squirted away into the offside by Benjamin. Just be a single this time. No misfield out there on this occasion. You've seen Alex Hales up close and personal in Australia then. I mean, there's a lot of talk about whether he will get another opportunity with England, but obviously the other night, 91 off 33 balls was just an extraordinary.
He's an unbelievable player. His record over here, I think he was voted the Blast player of the tournament or in history of the Blast recently.
Adam Hose has driven that Samit Patel, and on a chilly, damp day, that's going to have stung those fingers. He's still rubbing his left hand.
It's hit the bowling hand as well, so that's the last thing you need as a bowler. But yeah, he's an incredible player. He's got an incredible record for the Sydney Thunder as well. He's sort of a constant in our batting order, and I can only assume with the auction coming up in the KFC Big Bash, I'd imagine he'll probably be getting retained by the Thunder. I think that'll be probably no surprise if that was to happen.
60 for 2. One of the best T20 franchise cricketers around. Obviously, he didn't take part in the IPL that's just finished. He's got his white ball contract, of course, with Nottingham. Samit Patel in a real bit of discomfort here. Umpire Peter Hartley just giving him time. You can see he's wringing that left hand. I'm going to assume nothing's broken or fractured, but just in this cold, that really must sting.
Yeah, you don't need those coming back at you. Adam Hose doesn't hit the ball softly either, so yeah, that's the last thing you need on a day like today.
He's all right to continue though, and he does. And there's an attempted reverse sweep from Adam Hose, and he makes no contact. A good over so far from Samit Patel. 4 balls gone in it, just 3 runs for the Bears.
Yeah, he's been very impressive here, Patel. I think Danny Briggs will probably be taking a good look at how he's bowling at the moment and firing them into the block. I would imagine he'll be taking notes and making sure he does something pretty similar given the conditions.
Just move third man, just a little straighter. That's straight back down the ground by Hose, and a wicket for Patel. Hose goes, and the Bears lose their 3rd wicket with a score on 60. Just 12 from 6 balls from Adam Hose, but Samit Patel strikes, as usual.
Yeah, unfortunate there from Hose. He's just practicing the reverse sweep as he walks off. He's probably questioning whether he should have gone that option, but no, you look, it's an 8 over game. You got to be going, aren't you? And Patel's bowled a really good over here so far. He probably felt like he had to try something, and as you said, Carlos Brathwaite, the captain, slides up the order. if he gets in, could see some big balls on a night like tonight.
We could 60 for 3. 1 ball remaining in the 5th over. It's a really good over from Patel so far. Just 3 runs, 1 wicket. He's taken 2 for 11 so far from his 11 deliveries, which in an 8 over a side game in the context of a run rate at the moment around 12.5, that's pretty impressive stuff. It was Ben Duckett that took the catch of Adam Hose, and Carlos is on strike. He's ticking over at the moment so far this campaign, is Carlos Brathwaite, without notching a big score. He's top scored so far with 28 not out, got a 23 unbeaten as well, and he just grabs a quick single there, and he moves on to 61 for 3. I think we all thought the other night against Leicester when he needed to hit the last 2 balls for 6 for a tie that it may well happen, especially after he hit the 5th ball of the over for a 6, but just couldn't quite manage it on the last ball.
Yeah, look, anything's possible when Carlos is out there. I think a bowler can always hit the Yorker, and if they do that, the batter can't do much. But yeah, if you miss, you're in trouble. So we've seen it for a number of years now, how his ability to clear the ropes, and hopefully he can get onto a couple tonight. But a fantastic spell by Patel there, as you said, 2 overs, 2 for 12. That's fantastic in an 8-a-side game.
Fourth game on this wicket as well.
Game.
Yeah, fourth game on this wicket. Now I know these hybrids do last, but you get the feeling this would potentially suit some of the slower bowlers.
Yeah, I think absolutely. With the rain, it sort of potentially could grease it up and sort of counteract that slow aging part of the wicket. But I think fourth time on this wicket, it's always going to start to slow up a little bit.
Just 4 off that last over then from Patel. 61 for 3. We've got 3 overs to go. And Harrison's into the attack, and he's beaten Brathwaite outside the off stump with his first ball. And always good to see, again, young spinners being given their opportunity here by Nottinghamshire. He's in again with that leggy action. It's outside the off stump again. Carlos Brathwaite makes no contact. Really good start from Harrison.
Yeah, just keeping the ball away from Carlos, trying to stay out of his arc. If you sort of come in at the stumps, you may be more chance of getting him out, but you're also more chance of disappearing into the crowd.
The old straighter this time, down the ground from Carlos Brathwaite, and all the way for 4. Beats the fielder. Never really stood a chance with the power. I mean, it looked almost effortless from Carlos Brathwaite, but it clatters into the boundary ropes, and he's off and running. He's on to 5.
I don't think he's got much of that either, Carlos, with how strong he is. But as we saw, it skipped across the outfield there a bit of moisture on the outfield, and it's just skipped through, and saw the fielder there drying the ball a lot. So could make the back end of the over a bit more challenging for the leg spinner, trying to grip a wet ball. I don't envy him. It's one of the hardest skills in the game, and then with a wet ball, it makes it that much harder. But he started well. We'll just see how he comes back here.
Stephen Mullaney, I think, has just moved a little straighter at long off. Carlos goes again. He's tried to fetch that from outside the off stump. There's no run. 3 dots and a boundary so far in this over from Calvin Harrison.
Change of field, deep point, comes over to a cover, and cover in the ring just goes to point. So knowing Carlos, he's probably going to try and strike the ball straight down the ground. He's not going to go the reverse sweep.
It's close to being a wide, you would have thought, maybe, unless it's the turn that's taken it that far away. And I think Carlos is having that conversation with Steve O'Shaughnessy and saying, how is that not a wide ball? But
it's really brave bowling that. He's taken the pace right off that and got a bit of grip off the surface. But yeah, it's good bravery to take the pace off the ball.
And then again, this time Carlos does make contact and he hammers it away in the offside. They're going to get 1 and turn for the second. He was run out against Worcester on Friday, but he takes the 2. Just 6 off the over then from Harrison. Score moves on to 67 for 3 after 6 overs. So just 12 balls remaining. The run rate's dropping. It's down to 11.2. And you feel that a couple of good overs required here. Benjamin and Brathwaite, of course, Benjamin's the man who's in. He's on 30 and Brathwaite on 7. And Jake Ball is to return from the Birmingham end.
Yeah, incredible over there by the young spinner. And I think, as we're saying, spin playing a big role here, as you said. Fourth game on this wicket. But usually spin, when it's a bit greasy, it can be the hardest thing to bowl. But they've had a lot of success with the spin, and I think that potentially will will play in well to the Bears' hands. We've obviously got two very good spinners in our own right, and some potential part-time off spinners as well. So interesting to see that. I'm sure the bowling coach and the captain will be taking note of that and thinking potentially pace off is going to be the way to go instead of pace on into the wicket.
It'll be interesting to see what they do here with the final 2 overs. Jake Paul's going to bowl his second, but they have used 5 bowlers with Harrison coming on. It means they'll have an option of Carter, Harrison or Pattinson to finish off.
I'm all for giving the young leggy a go, but I'm not sure you want to be going the 8th over either. So I'd expect it to probably be pace on the ball, but Jake Ball around the wicket here, so got the option of wide hole and into the body.
It's into the legs of Benjamin. Gets it down to fine leg where it's fielded by Matt Carter. Just a single. 68 for 3.
He seems to do this quite a bit, Ball. I haven't seen a huge amount of him over here, but in the game we played against the Sixers at Canberra at Manuka Oval, actually, in the power surge he bowled. I actually faced him and myself and Daniel Sams were batting at the time. And yeah, he went around the wicket and had a bit of a split field. So likes to, I'd imagine he'll be going out at the wide hole at some point.
Into Carlos Brathwaite. It's a full toss and it's hammered away before just one bounce and over the ropes for Carlos Brathwaite. And, well, a full toss for the captain is an invitation that's not going to be missed.
Yeah, it just missed his length there. Obviously going for the Yorker and one of the more challenging balls to bowl. If it is a bit greasy out there, obviously we're all speculating from up here, but it can be a pretty challenging ball to bowl, the Yorker, when it's a bit greasy. So obviously the field's set up here for probably the heel Yorker. You can go into the wicket, slow ball bounces, and obviously the wide Yorker. But if he executes his balls, it can be good. But yeah, he doesn't have much margin for error, especially if he's going for the Yorkers.
72 for 3 is the score. He's in again, bowls to Carlos Brathwaite outside the off stump, and they're just going to run a by here. It hit the stumps, but Benjamin was safely through. It's a good little throw from Tom Moores.
Not happy with himself, Carlos, there. He's hit the bat as he's run through. He thinks he's probably missed out there. It was a little bit in the slot there by Ball, but change of pace has just deceived him just enough. So, yeah, whether it's drying out a bit more out there at the moment, but pace off looks to be the way to go. We've seen success by the spinners, and slow balls look like they're gripping a bit here. We see on replay. That's running through.
He was, safely home.
Interesting to see what the feedback is from the batters. I'd imagine they'll be passing this on to the bowlers for the second innings.
6 off the over so far. Another full toss. Benjamin doesn't get much of it though. Just gets a quick single. And it's fielded by Dan Christian, the captain. And the score moves on to 74 for 3. Benjamin's on 32 from 15 deliveries. Brathwaite on 11. 2 balls left in the 7th over. It's all very murky again around Edgbaston. The lights are on. And those hardy souls that have stayed around to get some cricket are being rewarded with some big hitting. I suppose that's one of the things. If there is a rain delay and you get a shortened game, you're pretty much guaranteed fireworks, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what you're going to get in an 8-over game. See a little change in the field. Deep gully comes back into the circle. Long off goes back.
And he comes again, ball here, and it's outside the off stump, and it's Benjamin could be run out here. He's gone for the bye, and in the end, Jake Ball chose not to throw the stumps down. Benjamin had gone halfway up the wicket before he was turned away by Carlos Brathwaite.
Be interesting to see the replay there. If I'm not sure whether Benjamin was maybe going to be home, but yeah, if there was a chance for a run out there, dangerous Benjamin, I'd be probably trying to take the gamble there. There's fielder on the boundary. It's only going to be a 1 if he misses, and the chance to get the dangerous Benjamin out is one you probably can't refuse.
7 off the over, last ball. Brathwaite's got this one. Has he got all of it? Yes, he has. 6 runs for Carlos Brathwaite. Well, that's why he turned away the bye that was being offered up from Benjamin. He wanted the 6. He's got the 6. And at the end of 7 overs, it's 80 for 3. Carlos Brathwaite moving on to 17 then. Benjamin on 32. Last over to come, Nathan McAndrew.
Yeah, just the last one in the slot there by Jake Ball, and a beautiful swing by Carlos. Calling for some gloves here, or maybe just buying himself some time. Young spinner coming on for the final over.
He's departing.
Trust, retiring himself maybe.
With one over to go. So Carlos Brathwaite, unless he's injured himself, would be the only thing when he was completing the single. So I think Sam Hain is coming out for this final over.
I wonder if that's a tactical retirement. I know Carlos prefers the pace on the ball, and I
was going to say Harrison, the
spin
leg
was
spinner,
a good option to him last over. So maybe he's done a selfless act there and get someone else out there. I'm not sure, but Benjamin obviously a very good player of spin on strike, and Sammy Hain just a fantastic all-round player. So we'll see how this pans out. But big gamble by Dan Christian bringing the leg spinner back on. He had a fantastic first over though, so he's earned the right, and the captain's shown a lot of faith in going to the young leggy for the last over.
And interesting now that the two umpires have just had a word as well, which kind of makes you wonder. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Carlos, of course, because may need him to bowl as well. So the score moves on to 80 for 4 then. And it's going to be Harrison who will bowl the final over. The young leggy to Chris Benjamin, who tees off all the way for 4. Terrific shot. Gave himself a little bit of room.
Beautiful shot there by Chris Benjamin. They've not gone with the traditional spinners field. They've got deep cover at a deep backward point to stop his switch hit or reverse sweep that he likes to play. So that opens up the extra cover boundary, and he's just given himself a bit of room there and carved it over cover. Beautiful shot.
I'm guessing as well, I mean, Sam Hain and Benjamin do run well between the wickets too in this final over. Maybe Carlos just felt that he had his moment, and he really did struggle against Harrison last time round, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So see how it goes. A lot of speculation from up here. But,
it is, yeah.
I got no idea what's going on there.
He's in again. He's bowled him. Benjamin's gone. It's a full ball from Harrison, and he looks skywards. And Benjamin's out for 36 from 17 deliveries, and the Bears are 84 for 5.
Carl's bring himself back in now. No, it's very well bowled by the young leggy. He's just fired that one in a lot faster and fuller and kept the stumps in play. And I think Benji's tried to do something similar. He backed away, gave himself room to free up his hands again. And very smart bowling by the youngster.
Well, it looks as though Alex Davis is coming in. Quick word from Chris Benjamin as well, just to give him a steer on what to expect, and just a straight ball really from Harrison, isn't it?
Yeah, just undone there by the extra pace, I think. So, crafty bowling, and Davo, a good player of spin as well. So, not too much time for him for a large innings, but 4 balls, see what he can do with it. But he's a very good all-round player as well, good player of spin. So, see what we can get. I think they'd be targeting 4 balls to go. If you can get 10 more, that'd be lovely. If they get up to sort of 94, 95, that would be, have to wait and see until both sides have played. But, you're at least over 10 and over at that point, and you're in the game.
It's going to be Harrison then to Alex Davis. Final 4 balls of this Bears innings to go. That's full as well, and he's got that on the full toss. It's in the air. Alex Hales is underneath it. Right on the boundary ropes. Oh, he's parried it over for 6. He tried to take the catch. Took a quick glance down, saw where the rope was, and he's ended up palming it over for 6, and Davis is off the mark.
Lovely start there by Alex Davies. I didn't think that had legs up here again. It's sort of hard to judge the depth perception up here, but those cold hands again of Alex Hales just parried it over for 6, as you said, so might have to adjust that target again, maybe up to 100 potentially with that 6, but nice clean strike by Davo.
Scores on to 90. Next ball drilled back down the ground. That's perfectly straight. I think Mulaney's going to cut it off. And he does. And it will just be a 2 for Alex Davies, who's on to 8. The score on 92 for 5 with 2 balls remaining.
Yeah, interesting there. He's taken the pace right up again and tried to jam it in and just make sure that the batter can't get underneath the ball to clear the ropes.
So I was going to say, just looking at the replay about it, it's almost as though Hales thought, I've got this.
Mm.
Then he looked at the rope and thought, oh no, I haven't, actually, and ended up spilling the catch anyway. But quite a challenge and a difficult one to take. And again, I think we've just seen Calvin Harrison just get his fingertips on that drive from Alex Davies. So another one in this cold weather who's just taken it on the fingertips. Are they still using beer mats to dry the ball, or do we now have normal towels?
I think they're towels. I think I haven't been out there in the right ball group yet though, so not sure. But yeah, big couple of balls here. See how these go.
92 for 5. Again to Davis. He's clothed that really into the leg side. And he's slipped. He's actually slid in to complete the first run without doing it intentionally. I think he went over and just his entire body flew into the crease to complete the single. They get back for a second, 94 for 5.
Yeah, just mixing his pace up all there. He's gone faster and into the wicket. It's obviously the bigger side out there. So if you know, as a bowler, just trying to keep the odds in his favour. It's a lot shorter straight, so you can go sort of fast into the wicket and make them try to clear that bigger boundary out to the leg side, as opposed to trying to give them a free swing at that sight screen. It's a little bit shorter.
14 off the over so far. Last ball of the innings to come then. 94 for 5. Wouldn't it be good to get 3 figures up if they can? Harrison's in again. Davis, he's gone over the top. He's cut it away, and that's going to go all the way to the cover point boundary for 4 more. And Davis finishes with an excellent 14, and the Bears finish on 98 for 5, Nathan.
Yeah, it's well, we'll wait and see. I don't really know what's a good total there, to be honest. But yeah, look, there's runs on the board there, and something certainly to bowl at. Very good finish there by Davo, coming in 4 balls and 14 was it that he's scored. So great batting there by Sam Hain. Great partnership batting up the other end, running hard between the wickets. He's just such a versatile player. But yeah, it's a good total. It's runs on the board, and if you can get an early wicket or 2, especially get into this middle order, then runs on the board's always a bonus.
It is 98 for 5. Then the Bears finish on, and it will be 99 for Notts to win when they begin their 8 overs shortly. And then time for the second innings then of the Bears against the Outlaws, and out come the umpires, Peter Hartley and Steve O'Shaughnessy. The Bears take to the field. Looks like Carlos is all right, so obviously it would appear he retired out during the Bears innings for 17 off 11 balls. He has been having a bowl in the interval, and it'll be interesting to see how the Bears choose to play this. It looks like the slower bowlers and pace off the ball was effective for the Outlaws, and plenty of options, obviously, with the likes of Lintott and, of course, Danny Briggs, plus Jacob Bethel and Paul Sterling as well. Ollie Stone as well back in the side today, if you have just joined us, and it's Ollie Stone that's going to start from the Birmingham end, and for the second innings, here she is, the cup-winning captain of the women's T20 side. Marie Kelly is with us.
I am. Thanks for having me back. Always
It's a pleasure. Well, listen, after last season's stint, we thought you were never returning, but you have returned, which is good.
I have. I've wanted to do a bit more, but the schedule hasn't quite allowed.
I was going to say you've been bashing the runs as well, haven't you?
I have. I've been just trying to whack it. Not much running has been going on. That's for sure.
I did comment to you the other day. You had a strike rate of 300 in one game. Was it 36 off 12 balls or something?
36 off 12. Yeah, it's been going well. I've just been trying to get the team off to a good score in the power play, and just been nice and aggressive, nice and positive, and thankfully it's been coming off. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Well, this 8 overs a side would suit you then if it's.
I'd love that. The less the better.
It's going to be Ollie Stone to start. Obviously, we haven't seen Ollie for a while now, but we've seen him because he's been up here alongside me. But he hoped to be back for this weekend, and he gets his chance. And it's going to be his pace against the opening pair of Joe Clark and Alex Hales. It promises to be an explosive 8 overs, 98 for 5. So the target is 99. Remember, we need 5 overs to constitute a result as well, should that rain return. But it looks set fair. As Ollie Stone gets us underway with a quick ball, and it's going to be a wicket first ball as well. Craig Miles with a catch, and Ollie Stone, what a celebration. And
Did you see the slip then?
Was it Danny Briggs that slid over? I think one of them slipped in as well. And it's the end of Joe Clark, dangerous player, and he's gone first ball to Ollie Stone, caught by Craig Miles.
Hopefully that slip hasn't injured Ollie Stone anymore. But great to see him back, and obviously in the wickets early.
Yeah, we saw Paul Sterling out first ball, of course, when he went for a massive hit. But that was a quick ball from Ollie Stone. A good catch from Miles. And, well, you say goodbye to one dangerous batter. And a bit like the Bears lineup, another one arrives in Ben Duckett. Look at the replay. It's carved away. Miles with a catch. And hopefully we'll see long enough to see who slipped over. Lintott's the one who's running with purpose. But it could be that it's Jake who goes. Yes, it is Jake who goes. Bless him. We did see, did you notice Alex Davis with one here? He ran a quick single.
Yes,
and he literally slid in.
Figure of 4 slide into the...
And off he went.
A good tactic, that, I think.
It is. What a start. 0 for 1 then. Duckett, the left-hander, is on strike. He's, again, been in very impressive form in the short form of the game for Notts. And it's Ollie Stone who will continue from the Birmingham end. Duckett just cuts that one away. Briggs Fields.
Who's your money on here then?
I got it hopelessly wrong the other night. I thought chasing down kind of, I think at one point they needed 50 off 60 balls, which I described as a relatively simple T20 chase.
You'd think,
and it wasn't. So, look, they need to get back to winning ways, I think. I was quite surprised they didn't bat first against Worcester, because I thought they are slightly better when they're setting a total, but they had to chase down, obviously, a victory here against Durham. He's in again, pulled away onto the leg side. Carlos will field. There's just a single.
They're fairly evenly matched on paper, both these sides.
Well, Notts are the only team actually in the Northern Group that have got a better record against the Bears than the Bears have. You know, they've won more of the 19 previous ties. Notts have won 11. The Bears just 8. This is their 20th encounter. And obviously last year, well, at least we say about last year when the Bears were rolled out for 63.
Yeah, I think I was here then, actually.
They've been much better this time round. And it's going to be Stone again, this time to Alex Hales, who you'd call the real danger man. Stone's in, and it's squirted around the leg side, powerfully for 4. The great shot from Alex Hales. He's in terrific form at the moment. Bethel could do nothing about that.
No, that's a good dive, and a little bit of water on the grass there, helping him slide really far. But couldn't quite reach. That absolutely flew, didn't it?
Well, he did. 91 he scored the other night off 33 balls.
Talk about good strike rate.
Yeah, once he gets
He's
going.
one of the best in the game.
This is the kind of game that's made for him, really, isn't it? When they said it's raining, I was like, oh, imagine if it's 5 overs side Sterling against Hales. That would be quite a good contest to watch.
Definitely.
But all the pressure on Hales for the Outlaws, 5 for 1. Thrown in again, and there's going to be no run here. Good backing up from Ben Duckett, but well fielded. And 1 ball remaining in the first over. 5 for 1. 94 more required for victory. It's been a great start by the Bears, hasn't it? I mean,
it has.
It obviously, the game against Leicester, they looked in control of, and it just went a little awry. And Worcester was always going to be a tough chase. Chasing 217 at New Road, it's tricky to know what a good score is at New Road, isn't it?
Definitely.
Stones in again. Rolling to Hales once more, who drills it to Brathwaite. And that's the end of the first over. 5 for 1.
Such a good start, I think, especially in the power play with only 2 out. You can often go a lot more. So to only go for 5 off the first over, pretty decent.
5 for 1 at the end of the first over. A reminder, the power play is 2.2 overs, so Craig Miles will bowl the second of the power play overs from this Birmingham end. Henry Brooks, the player that's missed out today, in favour of Ollie Stone's return. But Miles, who has had an up and down start to the T20 Blast campaign, but takes wickets at key moments in games. 5 for 1 then, second over. Miles from this pavilion end. Duckett. Got that a little bit high on the bat, maybe. I don't think it's going to go all the way, but it's not quite going to be caught either by Jacob Bethel. Good effort, and they'll come back for a second.
That's a great effort from Bethel. Such an athletic fielder, and definitely made that into a chance for himself. Couldn't quite get there again.
Duckett, you just felt it was quite high on the bat. Never quite got much of it. It was a long scamp around for Jacob Bethel. And one hell of a catch had he taking it. 7 for 1. Miles to continue. And he beats Duckett, who has a real shy at that one outside the off stump. And there's no run. So T20 winners.
Yes.
Quite an impressive campaign, I understand.
Yeah, we set out right from the start that we wanted to win it. We lost the first game actually, which I think probably helped us really. It gave just a little bit of like, okay, we need to actually like concentrate here and get this right. I wasn't playing and Eve Jones wasn't playing as well. It gave us a little bit of fight.
Duckett. Yes. Giving us a no ball from umpire O'Shaughnessy. And it's for shoulder height. That means it's not a free hit, of course. But that's the one for the over for Miles previously, of course. So 9 for 1. Extra run to the total. Extra 2 to the total, should I say.
Still pretty good start here, though, from the Bears. Could have been a lot more.
It is. Bears made
Bears
made a flyer and just slowed up a little when the spinners were in. Samit Patil with his brilliant 2 overs as usual. Duckett's got that away, though, and that's gone all the way. Over the ropes for 6 runs. Effortless from Ben Duckett. It's a huge hit. And 6 more to the Notts total. They move on to 15. And he looks small and diminutive, doesn't he? But he's got some power in those arms.
He's got a lot of power, and you could tell there with how flat that 6 went. That was all power.
Interesting choice. This is the 4th game that's been played on this wicket, which is again a hybrid. But you saw in that Notts innings in the Bears innings that Samit Patel was the most economical. Face off the ball seemed to work. This time that's a full toss. That's straight towards Bethel, but too much on it. And it's over the ropes for 6 more.
Back-to-back 6s. This will be what the Outlaws are looking for in the power play. Get them off to a good start.
Duckett on to 15. 21 for 1. And obviously you're now in Charlotte Edwards Cup mode at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, well, we've just finished it. So we've got a couple of days off. And then we're starting our 50 over prep. So we're going into the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy with our first game on the 25th of June for that. So Yeah, T20's done and dusted now, so I have to start defending the ball
I was
a bit.
going to say, you're going to have to think about this
I
new strategy of
know.
yours.
I'm going to have to start running and defending and leaving.
Miles is in again. It's the 5th ball of the over. This is better. And Duckett can just squirt it into the leg side for a single. And it's 22 for 1. Duckett moves on to 16. Hales is on 4.
Yeah, I might have to go and play a few rounds of golf or something to get time on the legs. I've not been, like you say, I've been trying to strike it well, but that means I've not been in for many balls either, so I've not actually had that much time on my feet at the minute.
And how's the bowling coming along?
It's coming along nicely, actually. I've really been enjoying it. I've learned so much. I didn't think I'd play as much of a role with the ball as I have done. I feel like I've been kind of chucked in the deep end, which has been brilliant. Learned a lot.
Miles in again. Hales makes room and goes back over the top. And again, all the way for 6. It's a huge over for the Notts Outlaws. They move on to 28 for 1 at the end of the second over. 23 runs taken from Craig Miles there. 3 sixes in amongst them.
Time to get some spin on, I think.
Yeah, well, we're going to see Danny Briggs, as we would usually. There's 2 balls left at the power play. He's going to bowl from the Birmingham end, and him and Lintott again have been so crucial so far. At this moment in time, they've taken 20 T20 wickets between them in the games played so far. And here is Danny Briggs. As we saw with the Bears innings, taking wickets is key, isn't it? It doesn't matter if it's an 8 over game, 20 over. The wickets will slow up the run
Yeah,
rate.
it just kills any form of momentum. Any extra dot balls that you can squeeze out of them. So key.
Bears were 30 without loss at the end of the second over, so scores very closely tied, and Duckett has reverse swept that for 6. And that's a terrific shot from Ben Duckett. And Danny Briggs, maybe I'll have to try and fire these in a little more, which is what Samit Patel did. He responded well at Samit Patel after he was hit for a boundary early on.
Yeah, he went Yorkers very early, didn't he, Samit? And that seemed to be the key.
Duckett's on to 22 now from 9 balls, 34 for 1. Just started the third over. Reminder, chasing 99 to win in total.
Gone again.
He has tried to reverse sweep that time. They'll get a single. Good work from Alex Davies behind the stumps. The leg bite, 35 for 1.
And that was just that little bit fuller, which always makes it a lot harder to reverse. If we can just get a little bit fuller, almost Yorker length, they can't really get under the ball. It makes it a lot more challenging.
So obviously, you've got the 50 over stuff coming up, and then after that, it's 100 time.
Then we go back into 100 mode, so I have to go back to trying to whack it then, which will be all the fun stuff.
And we won't boo you too loudly, but Trent Rockets, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. Here's Briggs in, and Hales carves that away through the offside. Just going to get 1. Is he going to try and turn it into 2? Craig Miles doing the fielding, and they will get a second. 37 for 1.
I know everyone's been asking me who I'm supporting today. So obviously moving up to Trent this year, so obviously still a Bear at heart, of course.
I was going to say, you are still a Bear.
Obviously, of course.
I did message you and ask that question straight away. What? I was outraged. Oh, Hales has gone huge here. That's a massive hit. Almost to the back row of the family stand. And it's 6 runs for Alex Hales. 43 for 1 now. Hales moves on to 18 from 6 balls.
Yeah, apart from Edgbaston, I think Trent Bridge is definitely up there with the next best ground. The bat it.
A nice short boundary there, isn't
very
there?
short boundary, which I very much enjoyed. The wickets obviously are brilliant. Quite a hard bowl in there, but hopefully in the 100 I'll probably just be batting.
And that gets underway August, isn't it?
Yes.
Excellent.
Literally, I think we'll get together back end of July, start of August, and then it all kicks off.
And obviously the Trent Rockets did pretty well last year, didn't they?
They did, yeah. We've got a couple of good signings this year, so I think with the Aussies all around this year, it should be a lot better.
In again, Briggs. This time it's on the 4, and it's going to go for 4.
That's really clever from Hales. Briggs had to go for a Yorker then, and Hales has made that into a full toss.
Well, 15 off the over so far. Score moves on to 43 for 1. Actually, it's 49 for 1, should I say. And it's 21 off the over with 1 ball remaining. Not too often Danny Briggs is taking the part like this, but Alex Hales is on it here. 49 for 1. Briggs again. Hales goes big this time. No need to bother for Adam Hose. That's about 10 rows back. And it brings up the 50 for the Outlaws. They're 55 for 1. Hales is on 30. Duckett's on 22 with 5 overs remaining.
Hales is 30 off 8 here.
Yeah, quite extraordinary, isn't it?
Unbelievable striking. And all of those sixes have been big.
He's a remarkable individual. Nathan McAndrew was here with me through the first innings and obviously plays with him at the Sydney Thunder, and he just said, when he's on form, let's see who's going to take the ball. Jake Lintott is going to have a bowl from this pavilion end. So 30 deliveries remaining, 44 required to win.
You get a sense that this could be quite a key over here.
They need wickets.
Changing. Yeah, you need wickets or a very low scoring over. If this one goes big as well, not through in the driving seat.
Duckett on 22, Hales on 30. Obviously the toss took place and originally it was going to be a 13 over a side game. And the Outlaws had chosen to field first there and chase, and probably that became more of a better option as well when it was dropped down to 8 overs in these kind of small chases and these shorter games. You do want to know what you need to achieve victory. Lintott's in, Duckett comes down and parried by Lintott. And there's no run.
Was that a bump ball or was that a catch, do you think?
Well, I called a couple the other night and got the replays, and it proved that they were bump balls. I think Lintott's not frustrated with himself, which I think he probably would have been, having got both hands to it. I think it's probably a bump ball, that one.
At least it was a dot. We'll take that.
We need a bit of pressure, don't we?
Yes.
We need your action ball to come. So what's
Yeah,
that?
we
3
do.
dots and then an action ball, isn't it?
It's coming now. This is the one.
There's the second dot ball. I was asking Thea about this the other night. She was like, "Oh yeah, that's absolutely."
The more you like, you notice it a lot more now. It's happening.
Now you've told me about it. I can't.
You see
It's
it,
all.
don't
I'm
you?
always thinking, and it does happen. The pressure just builds. Lintott in again. Duckett sweeps. It's the boundary and out.
There we go.
And we've got the wicket. And it's Sam Hain with a catch. And it's Ben Duckett is on his way. And Lintott delivers for the Bears.
So the action ball. It was going to be 6 or out. Thankfully, just on the ropes. Couldn't quite get it. Good
Sam-
break through that from Lintott.
Yeah, Sam Hain with a catch. 55 for 2 then. Here's the score. And a terrific wicket for Jake Lintott to gather. That of Ben Duckett. Hales is still there, of course. It looks like it's going to be Tom Moores coming to the crease. Played a very pivotal role at the other end against the Falcons the other night, while Hales was battering it all around. He just accumulated 22 off 21 and gave him the strike, which...
Definitely. He tends to hit in quite unorthodox areas as well. I find he's quite a difficult player to bowl at.
You have the inside knowledge now, of course, with your time over Trent Bridgeway. Here's that wicket again. Lintott to Duckett. Just had to reach for it a little more than he probably have liked. And Hain, well...
Dancing on the ropes.
I was going to say that was quite tight to the ropes. We saw Alex Hales palm one over in the Bears innings, but Hain with a catch. 3 balls gone in the over. A wicket and 2 dots so far from Lintott. He bowls again to Moores, who has got room to turn that onto the leg side for a single.
It's always difficult fielding under lights anyway, but also with the clouds. It's hard to pick up the ball. You've got nothing to kind of judge it against. So those catches on the ropes can be a lot more difficult than they look.
Who would you say in the Bears women's T20 campaign? Who was the star performer this year? Or was it just an all-round team effort?
All-round team. I think the key innings was Bethan Ellis in the final. We really were under the pump. And she got 57, I think it was.
Lintott's caught and bowled. He's got Hales. It's 2 in the over for Jake Lintott. And it's the 2 danger men. It's Duckett and Hales who are on their way for the Outlaws.
That is a huge wicket by Lintott. Absolutely game-changing over. Exactly what the Bears needed.
Well, no wonder he willed away in celebration.
Momentum has changed now.
That's his 13th wicket of the campaign so far. And Alex Hales is furious with himself. It's a slow walk. He's still shaking his head. He'd scored 30 off of 9 balls. Dan Christian will come to the crease.
Got batter after batter, haven't they?
And there's the wicket again. It's a great catch from Lintott. Absolute dolly, and Hales was livid. Turned away in disgust.
He'll be annoyed there as he's tried to work that for one instead of sticking with whacking it how he has been.
Well, it's your philosophy. Why turn it for one when you can whack it?
I've had the same where you drop your intent, you think, oh, just play it a little bit safer now, and it just kind of disrupts your rhythm and your flow. I think if you're seeing it that well, just keep going. And it's harder because if you have lost a wicket in the over, you know that losing 2 in that stage where you're trying to whack it won't look great, but dropping your intent can also create a wicket opportunity for the bowler too.
Well, I just want to get out of here without a boundary. And Lintott will just concede a single off the last ball of the over. Christian's off and running. And that's 4 overs complete. What an over on that occasion from Jake Lintott. 57 for 3. 2 from it and 2 wickets as well.
Do you bowl him again now or just save him? Save him one for later on? Or do you just try and kill the game?
I think we get him straight in, but we shall see. End of the over then. Scores 57 for 3.
Yeah, one thing I have.
Ollie Stone back in. Obviously, it's 2. It can be 4 bowlers of 2 overs.
Right.
So as a captain, it's quite an interesting conundrum here. Do you? But I mean, Patterson bowled 1 over for 19 in the Bears innings for the Outlaws. You'd have probably banked on him bowling 2, but I mean, it gives you that flexibility, doesn't it? So Stone's going to have his second. But
Yeah,
do you keep Lintott on that basis when there's 4 overs left? It's a conundrum for Carlos. Cut away, high, and not quite going to reach the boundary here. They're going to turn for a second, and Dan Christian will move on to 3.
I think he'll definitely get another one. It's just when. Do you try and kill the game now, or do you save him, protect, to be able to defend later on?
Well, you're a captain. What would you do?
I think considering there's 2 fairly new batters in, I'd probably go again. I think if there was still an in batter, I'd probably save him for a little bit longer.
Stone's in again. Dan Christian will drill that to a fairly wide-ish long on, and they'll just get another single.
These 2 haven't really faced him yet, so they've not had time to kind of set him up or figure out any plans to him, so can probably afford to get him on again now.
60 for 3. Morse is on strike. He's got 1. Christian's on 4. 39 required of the remaining 22 deliveries.
Definitely doable, isn't it?
Well, 39 off 22, you would normally sit there and go, that's a fairly tricky but doable chase for the Outlaws. Let's see, Moore's the left-hander on strike. Short ball from Stone, and he's hooked him for 6. Hardly any movement from Moore's. The short ball from Ollie Stone is dispatched all the way. That's a huge hit.
Who have they still got next in? They've got Mulaney.
Still got Mulaney and Samit Patel to come.
Still to come, so they're very competent batters as well still to come.
I think it's as we said, wickets is going to be the key here.
Yeah.
Just to keep nibbling them out, which I'm guessing is why he went back to Ollie Stone.
And that's what I was going to say. One thing I have learnt from bowling in T20s is how hard it is for spinners to take wickets. So for Lintott and Briggs, who have got that many between themselves, shows their class really.
Ollie Stone again from the Birmingham end. That one's down the leg side. Going to be a wide. Must be tricky for Ollie. I mean, now he's played some second 11 games, and there was the potential to maybe play a second 11 championship game, but never quite got to that point. But coming back and finding your rhythm and getting back at it after such a big operation and injury.
Definitely, it really is finding any form of rhythm as a batter or bowler in T20s. It's so hit and miss.
And again to Moores, it's another short ball, and that's going to be a no ball because he's already delivered one over shoulder height that went for 6. And 2 more runs to the total, 69 for 3. 30 now required to win.
Yeah, that's not what the Bears need there. 2 extra runs for no ball bowled.
Certainly not. And after the loss of Hales for 30 and that over from Lintott and Duckett for 22, Bears just need to get a rain on this once more. 3.5 overs remaining. And he comes again to Moores. Oh, that's one up in the air. I'm not sure anyone's going to get there. It's going to land safe. It does. The despairing dive on that occasion from, I think it was Lintott maybe, who gave that a best effort. No, Jacob Bethel again. Bless him. That's twice he's gone to ground in a desperate attempt.
He's making those into. He's giving himself the best opportunity to catch those, and when other people wouldn't get anywhere near. That would have been an absolute screamer if he'd taken that.
Well, it is. Nathan was saying earlier, it's quite deceptive up here as to whether a ball's going to carry or not, and it always looked like it was going to land in the gap. Stones in again, and Christian has to just dig that one out. Better from Ollie Stone.
Yorkers have just worked so much. You saw it from their bowlers as well. I know you can't bowl Yorker every ball, but they really have been so effective from the spinners as well.
They're a little ahead of the game now, or certainly ahead of where the Bears were. 70 for 3 at this moment in time. At this stage, it was 61 for 3. The Bears did have an excellent final over, taking 18 from it. In fact, the final 2, they took 31. Stones in again, and Christian was trying to ramp him. And it wasn't far away, I think, from Christian's leg stump. But that's the end of the over. 5 gone, 70 for 3. So 3 remain, and 29 required off 18 balls. Would you be fancying your chances at this point, if you were batting?
I think as a batting side, yeah. I wonder if they'll retire anyone. Get somebody else in.
Get Samit in, or Mulaney, of course.
Yeah, potentially. No, I think, yeah, with the lineup that they've got ahead of the rate early here. So, yeah, I think you'd be fancying your chances. It's always difficult chasing, though. That scoreboard pressure. Hopefully the Bears can pull it out the bag. Another key. Oh, so Lintott's going again here.
Which you feel is probably the roll of the dice from Carlos Brathwaite, isn't it? So after this, there'll be 2 overs remaining. He'll still have potentially 1 from Craig Miles. He's only used the 4 bowlers so far. He's potentially got himself as well. And he's gone big, up in the air. Again, is it going to fall short, or is he going to get there? Oh, and he can't, Sam Hain. He had the first, the second attempt, and unfortunately there wasn't a third. And Moore survives again.
That's barely got out the ring, so Sam Hain has done such a good job to get there.
Well, he has charged all the way in from long on.
He did all the hard work and he got there. He would be very disappointed with that himself.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else could have even got close, but 71 for 3, and Moores is a bit of a cat here. He's got a few lives already. Let's hope he's not got 9.
Once again, Lintott creating the opportunity though. Hopefully he can pull it out the bag this over.
Followed by a dot ball as well. 71 for 3. Christian on 4 and on strike. Moores is on 9. 28 required now from 16 balls. Evo Shaughnessy back to his mark. Lintott's in again. And he comes down the wicket this time. Christian just going to be a single to Adam Hose. 72 for 3. 27 required. Off of 15. It sounds gettable, but it's still going to take a bit of hitting, isn't it?
You just never know. I think if one of these 2 is still here, you need probably somebody to see at home for them.
What does Moores do? Does he try and go big again? He comes down and he just uses his hands to just try and find the gap between mid-wicket and long on. And in the end, he just gets a single. 73 for 3. A dot ball and 3 singles off the over so far.
Going well, but we need a wicket here. Whether the Outlaws though just decide to see him off and then attack the other bowlers could be their plan.
Well, they've got their captain at the crease in Dan Christian, and that's 1 bounce to Adam Hose. Just a single. Well, they need more than singles, but you're right. Maybe they're thinking Lintott will just take it carefully.
Yeah, can't bowl again after this over, can he now?
11 balls. 2 for 6 so far for Jake Lintott. Last ball of the over. 25 more required. Morse has missed it. In fact, everyone's missed it. And they're going to get a couple of byes here.
Thankfully, the outfield is a little bit slower now with the amount of rain that they've had.
And they do get 2 byes. 76 for 3 then. at the end of the 6th over. And what's that with 6 overs? So 2 overs remaining, 23 more required. I think we can find out who our fan of the match is.
I'm now joined by the Selco Builders Warehouse fan of the match, and your name is?
Pippa.
Pippa, congratulations, you've won yourself tickets for Warwick Castle. Now, where are you from?
Oxfordshire.
Okay, and I've got to ask you, Pippa, who's your favourite Bears player?
Paul Sterling.
Why?
Because he is amazing.
Okay, well, are you enjoying the day?
Yeah, it's been really good.
Congratulations, Pippa, well done.
For 3, it's the captain.
Here we go, so he's definitely not injured then.
Taking responsibility himself. 23 off 12 balls. 76 for 3. I mean, this is the over that potentially makes it, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah, this is the key. Like we say, it's all about momentum in this game, even though it's a reduced game. Trying to get the momentum back in the Bears' favour.
And 9 ahead of where the Bears were. The Bears were 67 for 3. The Outlaws 76 for 3. Brathwaite into Christian, captain to captain. And he's driven into the covers. They're going to take one, think about a second, and they'll get the second quite comfortably in the end. And Christian returns, 78 for 3. Good 2 off the first ball.
I think they'll look to attack this over though. Try and get a little bit more ahead of it, so you don't want to leave it too late.
Well, the options will be interesting when it comes to the final over. You assume, well, Miles went for 23 in one, and Danny Briggs went for 26.
Yeah.
But it'll be one of those two, one would think.
Yeah, I think probably back Craig Miles at the back end, maybe.
The Outlaws were brave. They went with the young leg spinner. Brathwaite's in again, full toss. Christian doesn't get all of it, though. They will come for a second, will they? No, it's just going to be a single. Adam Ho's doing the fielding.
Yeah, I did think that was very brave bowling a leggy at the back.
He went for 18 in the end.
Yeah, but he had bowled really well up before that. So sometimes just got to try and take the risk, haven't you? And
You got to back the leggies, haven't you? That's
you
the
do.
key. Yeah.
They are wicket takers. They could go for runs, but they do take a lot of wickets.
79 for 3. 10 balls remaining, 20 required. So it's 2 a ball from here. And Moores is on strike. So now and then Carlos Brathwaite just has that golden arm, though. And he takes wickets. Field is all out on the leg side on the boundary. Brathwaite again. Morse goes back and he gets a hand on it. And that stopped probably at least maybe 2 or even a boundary. Just get a single.
It's been a while without boundary now, so soaked up a little bit of the pressure from the Bears and put that onto the Notts batters.
3 off the over. Obviously, Lintop finished his 2 overs. 2 overs no, made in 2 for 6. And an 8 over a side whack. It's pretty impressive from Jake Lintop. Dot ball. Well, Carlos is appealing for it. 2 balls remaining in the over, so 8 remaining in the innings, 19 still required. They need a boundary.
Christian needs to get a bit of a move on, I think. 9 off 11. He's been the only one striking at less than 100 at the minute, so it's not normally like that, is he?
Yep, the Bears were 80 for 4 at the end of this over, and Notts at 80 for 3. We're in for a tense finish. Brathwaite again. Oh, he's got an outside edge on that. It was a full ball from Carlos Brathwaite. Swing of the bat from Christian, and it perfectly dissects Paul Sterling and Alex Davies, who was probably a fairly tight-in third man, quite narrow, but it goes for 4.
Neck and neck now, isn't it? It's getting exciting.
It is. Just 7 balls remaining, 15 required. Dot ball here, 15 off the last over.
Yeah.
It feels like it's anyone's game at that point.
Definitely. Just who's going to bowl it?
Carlos Brathwaite with the final ball of the 7th over, and Dan Christian squirted that one out. He's gone.
Yay!
It's a great catch on the cover point boundary. Excellent take from, I think it was Craig Miles, who's usually out there fielding, and Christian goes, and it's 84 for 4, which means they require 15 from the final over.
Here we go.
Well, this could be a moment, and it is going to be Craig Miles who is cap off.
How many did we get off the final over? Was it 18?
18. So 15
close.
required. And it's Samit Patel who's come to the crease to join Tom Moores. 84 for 4. And we're right on the cut-off as well. So I'm glad he's at his bowling mark ready to go. Because that would be a disaster. Although now it's not runs you get penalised, is it? You have to push a man out.
Yeah, you have to have another one in the ring, don't you?
One in, should I say.
So we're allowed, normally in the women's game, you're only allowed 4 out anyway. And it reduces to 3, which is very hard to defend.
I was going to say, that's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas these guys get a 5, it obviously makes it a little bit easier for the bowlers to defend.
So Samit Patel, the new batter, he's at the non-striker's end, and it's going to be Tom Moores who's on strike. 11 from 8 balls. Not been timing it particularly well, though. He's had a couple of moments where he should have been out, potentially. Here we go, then. 6 balls. The Bears have got to defend 15 here. And Moores straight down the ground on the full toss. It's just going to be a single. Adam Hose. And every ball will be applauded.
Very good start there. 14 off 5.
85 for 4. Well, there's not many in, to be fair, and no surprise after the day it's been weather-wise, but they're back in the Bears all the way here. 85 for 4.
They've still been nice and loud, the fans that are in.
They always are, aren't they?
They are.
And the tinkering with the field goes on to Samit Patel.
Of course, they can take all the time they like now they've started the over.
Thing is, as well, with Samit, he hits the ball in unusual places, doesn't he?
He
So
does.
I'm guessing it's quite tricky to try and set a field. He's fairly unorthodox at times. But
And he's very experienced as well. He'll have been in this situation a lot of times.
So the ring is in force on the offside with only one man on the boundary. All about the leg side. So Miles is in. It's full. It's squirted away. And they're just going to take a single. And again, a round of applause as Sterling stops the ball. 13 required off the final 4 balls.
Another Yorker. That's perfectly executed. And that's exactly, I think Samit will look to play. I think he'll try and get through point and through third.
It's a great comeback from Craig Miles, this, isn't it?
It really is.
When you consider he went for 22 in that, 22 in that first over.
I think that shows the confidence that Carlos has in him as well.
And he comes again here, and there's a shout for LBW, and there's no run. Moores goes nowhere, and it's 13 off a 3. Craig Miles is bowling the over of his life.
Okay, switch back to momentum on Bears now.
Well, all of a sudden now, you're in that scenario. Yes, 3-4s will get you a tie,
Yeah.
but you need to clear the ropes.
You need a 6 here, definitely.
if you're going to win the game.
Put that pressure back on Miles, but it's come good so far.
Moores is on 12, Patel's on 1. Miles with the 4th ball of the final over. Outlaws still require 13. He's gone big here as Moores, and he's got all of it. And he has cleared the ropes. It's 6 runs. Steve O'Shaughnessy's arms are in the air. And it's 7 now from 2 balls required.
That's exactly what they needed, but not what the Bears needed.
It was just in the slot, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's always the difficult thing. If you miss that Yorker length, only by a tiny bit, it's either a full toss or it's in the slot. I think Tom Moores would rather than to go a little bit deeper in his crease and try and make it into a bad ball.
I was going to say, if anything, you want to be full, don't you?
Yeah,
you want
I
to be a
think
full
you do.
toss rather than a
Yeah, the
little
amount
short.
of wickets a low full toss can you get.
2 balls remaining. Mars into Moores. Again, off
There
his
you go.
pads. It's just going to be a single.
Exactly there, slightly fuller.
Well, it comes down to 1 ball. Samit Patel on strike. And the Outlaws need 6 to win.
This is what you practice in the nets all the time. Any club session, you guys can relate. Everyone says it's 6 off the last ball to win.
And, I mean, as Craig Miles here, you're thinking, right, I can't overstep. I can't bowl a no ball. I cannot bowl a wide. I've just got to hit that zone.
Can't bowl slot, can't bowl 2-4.
And what are you thinking as a batter? What's Samit Patel thinking?
I think you got to pick a spot you go in here. You know he's going to go full.
Deep breaths for Samit Patel, you can see.
I think he's got to look to go over mid-off here, over extra.
Well, we've worked hard to get a game on, and we've got a thriller. And there's a couple of changes in the field here. just making sure they've got the right people in the right place. Jake Lintott is an excellent fielder, and he's coming down here
to
long off, and Carlos is going into the circle. He was in that position originally. Here we go then. Final ball. Can the Bears defend this to get the win? It's a full toss. Samit Patel turns it into the leg side. They'll only get one, and the Bears win by 4 runs. Oh no, it's a no ball for height. Well,
the drama continues.
It does. Unbelievable. It's a no ball from Craig Miles. Carlos Brathwaite stepping forward to speak to Peter Hartley and say, really? And Samit Patel was appealing for it at the time.
I want to have a look at that again.
Well, now the complexion changes completely because their score moves to 96 and they require 3 to win. And there's the conversation, I think, with Peter Hartley and Steve O'Shaughnessy.
It's also a free hit as well.
It is. Well, what a moment in this game. Adam Hose just gives Craig Miles a pat on the back, and Carlos Brathwaite just says, just relax as they dry the ball again.
I must say, I don't think that looked like a no ball. Obviously, the angles are different down there to up here, but...
Well, Samit Patel is ambling off.
Obviously, why is he going off?
They got the single, unless...
Is he retiring himself out as well?
Well, this is quite extraordinary if he is.
I've never seen this before, ever, and now it's happening twice in one game.
And this is obviously because it is a free hit, so the only thing that can be out here was the last ball anyway, isn't it? So, and it is. And out will come Calvin Harrison, who must be the quickest runner, I'm assuming.
Yeah, must be. I hope he's warm.
This is quite extraordinary. It's like you say, you don't tend to see it ever, and now both teams have done it. Patel.
Apparently, it happened in the IPL.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I think, a lot of things tend to originate. But do you think this will catch on now in the 100 when we see it?
I'm pretty sure there'll be a law that's put in to stop it happening at some point.
It doesn't seem quite right, does it?
It's maybe not cricket, but
yeah, I'm not sure that I completely agree with it. Obviously, the retiring hurt, but
yeah,
that's a different kettle of fish.
Moores is on strike. Here goes Craig Miles again. They need 3 to win, 2 to tie. Miles into Moores. It's a good ball. They're only going to get a single here. They can charge through for the quick run, which they do, and the Bears win. And the Bears win by 1 run. What a finish at Edgbaston. What drama. But the Bears are back to winning ways. A 4th win of the campaign. And Craig Miles has seen it out in the end. And Carlos Brathwaite just pushes him and gives him a big hug. And the captain, full of confidence in his team. And what a victory for the Birmingham Bears.
What a game that has been. I think waiting around for it to start. All the drama that comes with an 8-a-side game. And then a little bit of extra drama at the end. 2 batters retiring themselves out. Unheard of. But what a finish.
You can't actually make it up sometimes, can you? Carlos Brathwaite and Samit Patel both retire themselves out in this game to allow those who are maybe a little bit quicker towards the end of the 8 overs.
I like that. I might do that this season.
To try and run the singles. Carlos is still in deep conversation with umpire Hartley, saying, I can't believe you thought that was over waist height. But it's done now, Carlos. It's a win by 1 run for the Birmingham Bears. As Notts finish on 97 for 5.
Carlos still doesn't seem very happy about the decision, but like you say, we can forget about it now. They've managed to get over the line.
They have. That takes the record then to 6 played, 4 victories, 2 defeats, 8 points in the bag. And as we approach the halfway stage of the competition, we know every year about 7 wins gets you a quarter-final. That's win number 4, so they're making really good progress.
I think they look like a great side. I think they're a very well-balanced side all round now. I think just T20 is so hit and miss, and it really is who comes up on the day. But hopefully, with the squad that they've got and the players they've got, the Bears will come out on top this year.
Well, it did look for a while there as they reached a total of 97 for 5. So it took 13 off that final over with the help, of course, of that free hit and the no ball from Craig Miles. But when Hales and Duckett were going, it looked like the Bears were being put to the sword. 55 for 1 at the end of the 3rd over. To claw that back has been a terrific effort.
Definitely, and from a batting point of view, I think it shows that in chases like this, you do need
one or two people to stick in there, someone that's been in from early on, striking well just to see you home. Otherwise, like you say, it does get quite tight at the end. There's a lot of pressure on the batting side, but the Bears have done so well, especially with that free hit towards the end with the wet, slippy ball. They've done so well to get over the line.
Bears bowling figures at the end. Ollie Stone, 2 overs, no maiden, 1 for 18. Craig Miles, 2 overs, no maiden, none for 36. But, I mean, the numbers in the book will say none for 36, but we know how well he did. Danny Briggs, 1 over, no maiden, none for 26. Jake Lintott, 2 overs, no maiden, 2 for 6. And Carlos Brathwaite, 1 over, no maiden, 1 for 8.
Definitely a game-changing spell there from...
Well, that's going to be it, isn't it?
Lintott.
Chris Benjamin with 36, but probably Lintott's couple of wickets may well get him player of the match yet again. But terrific performance. Durham up next, of course, away on Wednesday. Back here again on Friday for the game against Yorkshire before they head back into County Championship action next Sunday. But an enthralling finale to the game here at Edgbaston under leaden skies. Those who hung around and enjoyed the cricket, well, they got a real treat. An 8-over thrash that goes the way of the Bears. Marie, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me
And
again.
yeah, it's been great to have you. Hopefully we'll get you back maybe before the season's out. I know you're about to go and get busy again
I know
in
we
50
are.
over preparation.
A few
but
days off now and then back into it.
a pleasure. And congratulations to you and the girls on your
Thank
Bears
you.
T20 victory as well. Let's hope we can make it a double this season if the men can pull it off as well. So it's finished here with a 1-run victory for the Bears. They've beaten the Notts Outlaws. It's win number 4 and they are back to winning ways.
Let's have a chat now with your Talbots player of the match, Jake Lintott. Jake, congratulations.
Thank you.
2 wickets for 6 runs, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, no, obviously buzzing right now. It's a pretty special win for us. Notts are obviously a really formidable outfit, so to pick up 2 points is really pleasing, and obviously it's tough conditions for us as well, having to defend there, so really proud of the boys, and yeah, great win for us.
You're making a habit of this now, aren't you? Second time player of the match.
Yeah, I just love playing at Edgbaston in front of home fans, so no, it was good.
It's a bit of a thriller at the end. I mean, what was that confusion with the no ball? Can you explain? Because we weren't quite sure what was going on.
Yeah, just a no ball for height, and then Milo did really well at the end there. It'd be really easy to lose your cool, and he's done brilliantly to get that in the hole there, and you can see 1 off the last ball, which obviously a pretty special feeling.
Wasn't the easiest of matches today, was it, with the weather and, you know, kept getting delayed? I mean, how did you guys feel about that?
Yeah, well, we were just in the change room watching Solihull Moors in the playoff final, just chilling there and tried to keep nice and calm. Yeah, it's obviously different, not ideal, but, you know, to get 2 points doesn't really matter now.
Well, congratulations, Jake, and a great win over the Outlaws.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much to Jake Lintott, and we will see you then on Friday for Bears versus the Vikings.